think of your skeleton as this solid, permanent thing, right? Like it's just there. But what if I told you that right this second, it's in a constant state of being demolished and rebuilt, cell by tiny cell? Today, we're going to go deep inside our own bones and uncover this hidden world of construction, destruction, and some pretty radical transformation. So here's the thing you need to know. As we get older, our bones can silently, secretly start to lose their density. They get more porous, way more fragile, and that means a simple trip or fall could suddenly become a really big deal. It's this sneaky process you don't even feel happening until you hear that crack. But look, this is not some unavoidable fate. We're going to explore exactly how to fight back, starting with the microscopic builders working inside our bones right now.
All right, here's the plan. First, we'll dig into that unseen problem happening in all our skeletons. Then, we are going to jump straight into a hands-on tutorial to build better, stronger bones. After that, we take a pretty hard turn into a wild surgical procedure. Then we'll check out a much simpler way to get a boost in your step before asking the big question. Is all of this really about health, about height, or is it just hype?
Look, it's just a fact of life. As we age, our bones can start to thin out. Doctors have fancy names for it, like osteopenia, or if it gets serious, osteoporosis. This is especially crucial for women after menopause, who can lose bone density really fast. This quiet loss is the whole problem, but understanding it is the absolute first step to turning things around. Okay, meet the heroes of our story, osteoblasts. Seriously, think of them as this tiny little construction crew that lives inside your bones. Their job? They're constantly laying down new bone tissue, making sure the whole structure stays strong. So the key to better bone density is just giving this crew a wake-up call. And believe it or not, we know exactly how to do that. So how do we get those osteoblasts fired up and ready to work? Well, this next part is a straight-up tutorial. We're getting practical. We're going to cover 3 super simple, proven exercises that you can start doing today to build stronger bones. All right, here they are, the 3 champions of bone density: jumping, squats, and the farmer's carry. Each one puts a different kind of productive stress on your skeleton, basically sending a signal to those builder cells to get busy. First up, jumping. Yeah, I know, it sounds almost too simple, but it is incredibly effective. See, when you jump and land, you create this huge ground reaction force. That's basically just gravity plus your body weight sending a jolt right through your bones. And that jolt, that's the signal that screams, hey, we need to get stronger down here. Most studies suggest something like 20 to 50 jumps a day with about a 30-second rest in between each one. And get this, you don't have to do this forever to see results. There was a study in 2014 that found women seriously improved their hip bone density after just 16 weeks of jump training. That's real, measurable change in only 4 months. It just goes to show you consistency pays off, and probably way faster than you think. Okay, next up, squats. A total classic, and for good reason. When you hinge at your hips and your knees, you are directly loading the bones in your legs and your hips. And when you add a little bit of weight, say holding a dumbbell for a goblet squat, you totally supercharge that force, sending an even louder bone-building signal. And finally, we have the farmer's carry. It is literally as simple as it sounds. You pick up something heavy in each hand, you keep your back straight, and you just walk. That load travels all the way from your hands, up your arms, down your spine, and into your hips, strengthening a huge part of your skeleton with every single step. So these exercises, they are fantastic for strengthening the bones you already have. But what if your goal isn't just to make them stronger, but to make them longer? What if you're willing to go to the absolute, and I mean absolute, extreme? And this brings us to the wild world of cosmetic limb lengthening. I know, it sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, but it is a very real and very intense surgical procedure where doctors will intentionally break a patient's leg bones, all to make them taller. Just take a look at this. This thing is called an external fixator. It's a metal frame that gets bolted to the bone through the skin with a bunch of pins and wires. It is a serious piece of medical hardware, and it's the key to this incredible process of bone regeneration. The science behind this is called distraction osteogenesis, and it is absolutely fascinating. After the surgeon cuts the bone, that fixator gets adjusted by about a millimeter every single day, slowly pulling the 2 ends of the bone apart. Your body's natural healing response just kicks into high gear and starts filling that gap with brand new bone. You are literally growing taller 1 millimeter at a time. Now, that external fixator is kind of the old school method, but technology has come a long way. Now, there are internal nails, like the precise system. This is basically a telescoping rod that gets inserted inside the bone itself. And get this, it's controlled by an external remote control that uses magnets to gradually lengthen the nail and the bone along with it. It's way less invasive, no external pins, it's a huge leap forward.
Okay, so radical surgery is one way to go. But for most of us, there's a much simpler, totally pain-free way to gain a few inches. Just change your shoes. Let's pivot from the operating room to the world of fashion, and believe it or not, footwear technology. And we're not talking about some tiny little niche here. The global market for these height-increasing shoes was estimated at $1.5 billion in 2023. A number that big tells you that there's a massive, universal desire to stand just a little bit taller, and it's driving some pretty cool innovation in shoe design.
So what are the options? This chart kind of breaks it all down. You've got your platform shoes, right? The lift is super obvious. Then you've got removable insoles, which give you a little temporary boost. But the real game changer here is the modern elevator shoe, which uses a built-in, totally hidden lift to give you the most height while being the most discreet.
The real difference between the old tech and the new stuff is how that boost is made. Old school elevator shoes basically just jammed a clunky wedge inside, which was uncomfortable and looked, well, pretty obvious. But modern designs integrate the whole height boosting system right into the shoe's structure. It's a total shift from an awkward add-on to a completely seamless feature.
And the benefits of doing it this way are huge. The lift can be ergonomically designed to support your foot's natural shape. That means your weight is spread out evenly so you can walk normally and comfortably. The outside of the shoe looks sleek, it looks proportional. It's all about getting that height without giving up comfort or style.
So we have gone on quite a journey here, right? From building up our bone density for our health to literally breaking bones for height, all the way to just augmenting our stature with technology. What does this whole spectrum of choices really say about us? When you boil it all down, we've seen three totally different paths. There's building, which is all about health and making the body you have the best it can be. Then there's lengthening, a radical, permanent change to that body. And finally, augmenting, which is using technology to change perception, to create a temporary, cosmetic effect. Each one is a totally different philosophy. This quote from the shoe brand Kanzuri really just nails it. For so many people, the desire for height isn't really about a number on a measuring tape. It's about confidence. It's about that feeling of presence. And the goal of all this tech, whether we're talking about shoes or surgery, is to make that feeling of being taller feel natural and real. And that leaves us with one last big question. From bone-strengthening exercises to height-boosting shoes, we are constantly finding new ways to shape and change our bodies. But it really makes you wonder, where do we draw the line between enhancing our health and just chasing some kind of cosmetic ideal? And is that even a line that's worth drawing? That's something to think about.